My name is Humberto. As you can see on this first slide, this presentation is going to be about the marketing plan report for the Paris Saint-Germain Football Club. So now let's move to the executive summary of the company. Expanding is very important for companies, and most of the time, companies rely on marketing to attract new customers and to enter new market. And this is why I've developed this new marketing plan strategy for the Paris Saint-Germain Football Club, because I believe the company should enter a new market, which is the American market. And I think the American market is an interesting one for a soccer company like us because soccer is more and more popular there. And an article from Forbes mentioned that 7% of Americans cited soccer as their favorite sport to watch, while 9% cited baseball. This shows that there's a lot of room in America for soccer. Let's now move to the company overview. On this part of the presentation, I'm going to talk about the company history, the company background, what the company used to do on marketing before 2011, and what the market is doing on marketing since 2011. I'm also going to talk about the company vision and the company core competencies. Firstly, the company was founded in 1970, but since 2011, the company is owned by the Qatar Sport Investment. Before 2011, the company was a very small player on the marketing point. The company didn't have enough money, so the company was not doing a lot on marketing. The company was focused only on the French market, and the company was not involved in digital marketing. But since 2011, the company now has millions to spend on marketing every year due to the new owners. The company's mission is the company is really involved in digital marketing with a YouTube channel that has 2.28 million followers and an Instagram page that has 29 million followers. And the company used all those channels to expand and attract new customers and fans all around the world, especially in places where the soccer market is growing, such as Asia, where the fan base of the company is constantly growing. Now, let's talk about the company vision, which was stated by the CEO of the company, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, when he mentioned that we have a very clear vision, to be honest. We want to be one of the biggest, one of the best clubs in Europe and won the Champions League. And our brand to be worth 1 billion, and we'll be there. This was said by Nasser Al-Khelaifi, who is the CEO of the company. For a company as big as the Paris Saint-Germain Football Club, it is really important to have a very large set of core competencies. And the company actually does have core competencies, such as the capacity of the team to recruit some of the best soccer players around the world, the capacity of the company to create a fan base that is international. In fact, the Paris Saint-Germain has fans all around the world. The capacity of the team, the quality of the team, which makes them one of the most competitive in Europe and probably the best in France. The capacity of the team to generate big revenue. In fact, the company made 700 million during the fiscal year of 2018 and 2019. Let's now move to the market environment. As a soccer company trying to enter a new market, which is the American market, it is really important to study and to understand that market. And that's what I have done here. I have tried to learn and to understand all the forces in the American market, such as the political forces, which is about all the laws and the regulations we have to follow if we enter the market. And since we are a soccer company trying to sell merchandises to customers, we have to follow the laws and the regulation of the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission is the institution in charge of controlling and regulating the consumers' consumptions in America. The next forces is the economic forces, which is about the economic situation of the company, economic situation of the country, and the buying power of the population. And America is definitely the best economy in the world. And an article from the Nasdaq stated that America has the largest, has the world's largest economy with a nominal GDP of 21.44 trillion. This is just amazing. And buying power of the population is pretty high. So entering that market is a pretty good move for a company like us. The next force is the technological forces. Technology, this is interesting because technology sometimes influences the way people consume. So, and since technology is really developed and really good in America, that might be considered a good move for us to move into that market. The next one is the social cultural forces. Social cultural forces is about how the views, the belief, the norms, and the way of living of the population of that country influence the way they consume. And as a soccer company, it might be interesting for us to move there because Americans love sport. In America, sport is just like a religion. And on an article posted on the American Embassy, the author stated that sport play an important role in American society. They enjoy tremendous popularity. So this means that as a sport company, we have all chances to be successful in that company. The next in that market, I'm sorry. And the next forces is about the demographic forces. This is about how big the population of the country is trying to enter is. In America has a population of 320 million people. So this is a lot of people we can actually get as fans or customers. And the last force is about ecological forces. Now let's move about to the SWOT analysis part. As you can see here, the SWOT analysis is about the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats to the company. First one, the strength of the company. A big financial power, which allows the companies to recruit talented and famous players around the world. A large presence around the world that allows the company to have an international fan and customer base. The quality of the team, which makes them one of the most competitive in Europe. Now, the weaknesses of the company: a lack of presence in big markets such as America, which is not good because soccer is more and more popular there. The fact that the company or the club has never won a major continental championship such as the Champions League. And lastly, the fact that the company is not doing enough marketing on about the female team of the institution. And this is wrong because women's soccer is really popular in America. Now, opportunities to the company, the North American market, especially the American market, because soccer, as I said before, is more and more popular there. The fact that the United States is a land of sport. In fact, Americans love sports. In America, as I said before, sport is just like a religion. Next, the threats to the company. Other big soccer institutions in Europe, well, which are all trying to enter the American market. The fact that many other sports, such as baseball, basketball, football, are already really popular in America. So it might be difficult for us as a soccer company to get attention of the public. Let's now move to the customer analysis part of the presentation. This part of the report is necessary because I had to identify what category of people I think the company should focus marketing efforts on. And the first step here was to identify the appropriate targeting strategy. And I decided to use segmentation strategy in order to segment the people we will market on in two groups. The next part was to determine what or which segmentation variable I will use, and I decided to use the demographic segmentation, which is about age. And the two groups I came up with are parents who have kids age 14 and under, and young male and female from the age 15 to 30 years old. I believe if we focus our marketing strategy on these two groups, we have a lot of chances to succeed, because if we can succeed to push parents to get their kids into the practice of soccer, we'll have long and lifetime fans and customer base. Let's now move to the next part of the presentation, which is about the product analysis. So this part is really important for a company, because before getting into a new market, you have to know what kind of product offering you have for the customers. And here I came up with different kind of ideas about what we have to offer to the Americans. Firstly, I think we have to start by opening stores in big cities where soccer is quite known, such as New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. But I think we have to come up with something new, not only usual, not only typical stores. We have to come up with something quite unprecedented, something that's gonna attract people. For example, store museums. In store museums, we can have one side where people will actually buy merchandises, and on the other side of the stores where people can actually go through and learn about the club history. The next part of the product offering I think we can have is to open soccer centers, 2 or 3 soccer centers around the country, where we can have young kids practice soccer at a very young age. And we can also promote this message. The best of you guys will possibly one in the future be players of the team. That would definitely ensure the kids' loyalty and commitment to the brand for years, and actually for many years. Another thing I think we can offer, another product offering I think we can have for customers and the public, is that we have a very talented women's team, and our male team is one of the best in the world. So we can actually organize great meet and greet. So we can have players come to America for a short period of time to meet with fans and greet with fans, have discussion with fans. We can also organize Instagram lives, so people can actually exchange with the players. And I believe that would be an interesting way to turn the public into fans and customers. Now let's move to the marketing objective. Okay, right here we're gonna talk about how we can turn the weaknesses and the threats we have identified in the SWOT analysis into opportunities for us. So, for example, a threat that I've identified in the SWOT analysis, other big soccer institutions which are actually trying to enter the American market, we can counter them by being the first major soccer European institution to get into the American market. So the goal is simple: conquer the American soccer market before our European competitors. Another weakness that we can turn into an advantage here is the lack of a lack of presence in a big market like America. And the way we can counter this is by finding a way to draw attention and curiosity around the brand. And the third weakness that we can turn into an advantage is the fact that many of the sports, such as I mentioned before, baseball, basketball, and football, are already really popular. A way we can try to turn this into an advantage is that we can try to attract kids to soccer, and more precisely to our brand PSG, to ensure that we have long lifetime fans and customer. Let's now move to the marketing strategy. The marketing strategy right is about how I think we should. Here I will present a different marketing strategy I think we should use in order to reach the goals I previously mentioned. So I think the first step here for the first goal, which was about entering the American market before our competitors, I think the strategy here would be to open an office in America, to work on our arrival on the American market as soon as possible. For the second goal, which was about drawing attention and curiosity around the brand, I think we can recruit a famous American player for one of our team. And third goal, for the third goal, which was about attracting kids to soccer and particularly to our brand PSG, I think we can develop partnership with primary and high schools all around the country. Now let's move to the implementation. The implementation here will be about how we can actually put these strategies in place in order to reach the goals. So for the first strategy, which was about opening an office in America, here we have 10 peoples. The team will be made of 10 peoples, and the mission of that team will be to work on our arrival on the American market for the next year. That team will be in charge of finding locations for our stores museum in this required cities, which are New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Philadelphia. This team will also be in charge of finding locations for our soccer centers. We actually need, as I said before, 2 or 3 soccer centers around the country. And this team will also be in charge of starting a campaign of advertisement to prepare the market for our arrival. Let's move to the next goal, which was about attracting customers and drawing attention and curiosity around the brand. And the strategy, right, the implementation plan right there will be about recruiting a famous American player. And since women's soccer is really popular in America, I think we should right here the best idea would be Alex Morgan, which is the most famous American soccer player. She's really talented. She's famous. The public loves her. And she has a massive presence on social media. She has almost 10 million followers on Instagram. So I really believe that recruiting someone like that will definitely draws attention and curiosity around the brand. And the third strategy right here was about attracting kids to soccer and especially to our brand, Paris Saint-Germain. I think right here we should have our partnership team to work and to look for primary and high schools around the country to develop partnership with. And throughout this partnership, we will organize soccer camps, we will give free merchandise to the kids, we will offer scholarships to the kids, and from time to time, we will take the kids to our company installation in France. And I think by doing that, we will solidify the bonds between the kids and the company and the brand, and the kids will be faithful and they will be committed to the brands for years and years and years. Evaluation. I believe implementing, and I know implementing a strategy like this one will cost us a lot of money. That will be a lot of money for our company. And I believe if this money is well spent, we'll see all the benefits from that investment. I've estimated that the cost of all this strategy will be $100 million. The most expensive strategy will be the first one, which was about finding locations for our store museum, finding locations for our soccer centers, and starting the advertisement company. That will cost us 77 million. The second strategy will cost us 8 million, and the third one will cost us 15 million. I have no doubt about the fact that this investment will pay off in the near future. Our team is made up of talented and smart individuals, and I believe that this team will work very well on implementing this investment. Let's now move to the conclusion of this presentation. Mrs. Bensdorf, you are the chief marketing officer of this company, and this marketing plan report needs your approval to move forward. And I really hope that you will give your approval to this plan report, because this plan really matches our company slogan, which is dream bigger. And that was the only thing I was doing while working on this report. I was dreaming bigger. I was dreaming about our company's future. I was dreaming about our company expanding into new market, getting new customers, being a bigger brand. I know this is a really big investment, but I'm convinced that this is a risk we have to take, and we'll see the benefits in the very near future. So I hope, Mrs. Bensdorf, that you will give your approval to this marketing plan report. Thank you for your attention. And I would like to state that I've decided not to include writing into the presentation because I wrote everything already in the essay I gave you. So I wanted to focus this presentation only on me speaking. So thank you for your time, and I really hope you will give your approval to this report. Thank you so much. Bye bye.